we got to get gutsy. Maybe you haven't heard a lot of sermons with the word gutsy as a focal point. Especially not a Christmas sermon, right? Like we think about like the Christmas moments. We think about like the story, it's angel appears to Mary. There's Joseph in the dreams, baby lying in a manger, shepherds in the field, the Magi come and visit, right? Like we think about these things like, do you think about like gutsy characters? I think they are more than we would think on the surface. It takes guts. And if we're going to get gutsy, let me tell you what I mean by that. Adventurous, audacious, bold, courageous, daring, fearless, heroic. Gutsy. That's what I mean. I think about these Christmas characters, right, and all the different characters in this Christmas story, and I think about being gutsy, being bold, when the pressure's on and time is of the essence and things really matter and there's an urgency, the pressure. These characters throughout the Christmas story dealt with a lot of pressure. These were some gutsy characters. Mary, gutsy. An angel comes and has this huge vision, and she's like, wait, what's going to happen here? You're going to have a kid. And she says, how does that work? How is everybody else going to look at me? How am I going to tell Joseph? It takes a lot of guts to say, you know what? May it be to me as you have said. Joseph, in a dream, right, finds out that his betrothed is going to be pregnant. Right? And what would society around him tell him to do in this situation? What do you think family would tell him to do in this situation? But when God comes in a dream and says, this is what you need to do, you need to take Mary. And he sits there and he goes, okay. It says he wakes up and he does it. And he does this repeatedly. God speaks, appears in a dream, and he goes to do it. This is gutsy, right? This is the time for us to press in and to show people our values more, not less. We need to take a stand with those people in our life who are can you just leave the churchy stuff out? No. Why? Because you don't get the mission. There's an urgency, there's an importance to what God is doing. I'm not going to leave Jesus out of my Christmas because it's core, it's critical, it is non-negotiable, it is mission critical, and I'm going to live a life that is gutsy. I'm going to do it anyway. And I want Spirit of Life to be a church that's going to do it anyway. Even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, we're going to do it anyway here. Because it's the right thing to do and it's the good thing to do. If all we're doing is seeking comfort and the easy way in our life, we're doing it wrong. That's not life to the full. That's not the life that Jesus intends. Mary and Joseph, they definitely said, I'm going to do it anyway. Because they knew it was right and they knew it was God. And that's our goal to follow this season. Christmas is supposed to be a season that's gutsy. You may not have thought of that before, but I'm telling you, it's right at the heart of all these stories. And it's an invitation for us this season as we think about how we, gather with our friends and family, how we're going to spend our time in the coming weeks, how we're going to prioritize what we're going to do, the things we're going to add to our schedule, and the things we're going to not do. I want y'all to think about that. I want you to make the list about the stuff you're not going to do, right? I'm going to do all this extra, and I'm going to not do some stuff too. Getting gutsy is mission critical. It is vital for the mission that we get gutsy and that we're willing to be a gutsy kind of church here. And I think we're going to be gutsy this Christmas because at the end of it all, we're going to do it anyway.